Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Let's take stock of the global news flow on a day when there is green on the screen. So US markets gain, futures though a little change. We'll show those numbers to you. Asian Pacific markets have climbed on a tech rally and rate cut hopes. Across the board, we've seen this. In fact, Nikkei is at an all-time high. Other news from a business perspective, Volkswagen has cut 2024 sales margin forecast on possible Audi EV plant closure in Brussels. Would it have an impact on the overall SAR sentiment in autos? Possibly could happen. The other news, Elon Musk has said that the Neuralink brain will see the second implant very soon. And Bill Wang has been convicted at a criminal trial. This is big news for anybody who's followed this case. This is a culmination of a very, very big story, potentially a novel if not already. But if you don't know much about it, and if you are indeed a finance fan, go up and Google this or search for this on Bing, Google, wherever, and try and figure out what this is. It's a fascinating, riveting read, I promise you. But what is fascinating is what the markets are doing. So the futures are little changed, but Dow, Nasdaq, S&P gained about 1% apiece, over 1% for each of them, and Asia's taking on from there. So Shanghai, Nikkei, Hang Seng, Kospi, ASX, Straits Time, everything is in the green, which is a great thing. And I believe our implied open should be showing a positive number, not a very large number, but a positive number nevertheless. Remember, our markets have a weight of some positions ahead of the budget, ahead of earnings season, being a bit skittish. Today is also the weekly expiry, so lots could happen today. Be careful. TCS numbers come out later on in the day, and I think that the market may want to be a bit guarded ahead of the TCS numbers, simply because, to my mind, in the last 2 or 3 quarters, this is arguably the most important quarter from a market's perspective, from a stock perspective, from an IT company or an IT set of IT companies. The next 10 days, see 5 large IT majors come out with the numbers, and their commentary on generative AI deals and otherwise could well determine what these stocks do, what the index does, and the kind of pressure or the advantage that it gives to the Nifty. So very important from an IT perspective what happens, and therefore TCS kind of sets the ball rolling today. Big day for the TCS numbers. During the course of the day, we'll talk about them, of course. Now, what's the trade setup? I think profit booking was seen, but the indices did bounce back or see support at lower levels. If you look at the intraday of the Nifty yesterday, from lows, it actually trended higher and closed at the highest point in 3 hours. If you will look at this, lows, but trended higher and closed at the highest point for a better part of the trading day. Not from the start, but a better part of the trading, the highest point really. So which was actually a good thing. The corrective move in 4-wheelers may not be over, but the 2-wheelers may outshine. And keep in mind, auto index was down 2% yesterday. Very likely that there could be some more pressure today, even if the Nifty were to bounce back. What Volkswagen has said could well impact some auto components as well, which are suppliers of VW, the likes of Samvardhana Motherson. So bear that in mind. The other index to keep in mind, aside of pharma, of course, which had a good move yesterday, was cement. And the cement expectations from Q1 are weak, and Kesoram results justify that weak belief. The stock was down 1%. The reason I say Kesoram results justify that weak belief is because of what Kesoram Industries has done. Now, it's not necessary that all the other cement companies may do that. But frankly, if you look at stocks to watch, I think Kesoram stands out. So let's move to those numbers and quickly highlight what individual stocks would do today. Can we bring up the Kesoram numbers first, and let's just see what those numbers look like. So sales are down 12% at 878 crores versus 998 crores, but EBITDA margin at 8% versus 10.5%, so that's looked very weak. The loss of 62 crores versus a loss of 32 crores, so that too has looked slightly wobbly. Do watch out for Kesoram. The dent on top line was due to poor realizations and subdued volumes, so that's to be kept in mind for sure. So this is why Kesoram and cement are under a bit of cloud. I mentioned about how autos are under a bit of cloud, and UBS note that came out post-market hours, or a Macquarie note, effectively talk about the same thing. UBS is saying that the price cuts point to demand moderation in premium SUVs. No wonder M&M was down. They say that the other models may see pressure driving discounting higher. So everything which is an SUV-linked company could see a bit of pressure. 4-wheelers essentially under a bit of stretch. Tata Elxsi, the first of the IT names, but not quite IT services, but come out with numbers slightly lower than estimates on the margin and profit side. Revenues were flattish, but margins, EBIT margin 24.3, the estimates were 25.5, so lower than estimates. PAT down 6.5%, 184, estimate was 198. Could the street be a bit disappointed with this? Maybe so. So watch out for Tata Elxsi. Then watch out for Glenmark. They've approved selling 7.84% stake in Glenmark Life via an offer for sale. So Glenmark Pharma is getting out of all non-core. This is the last of the stakes that they have in Glenmark Life, and therefore Glenmark Life also could be something that should be in focus. The floor price of 7.5 at a 7.5% discount to the current market price. So do watch out for this one. Let's move on to Sula Vineyards Q1 update. Highest ever Q1 net revenue and own brands revenue for Sula. Revenues at 130 crores, up 9.7%. Wine tourism revenues at 11.3 crores, which was down about 2.5% as well. So that too looked a bit weakish. So while they have said that it's their best quarter ever, the number wasn't that great. So that's to be certainly kept in mind. Viewers, before move on to the next stock, and I'll come to IRB Infra, but just want to go to the last plate of Glenmark. And the reason why you might think that there's a bit of a mismatch out there, the price here is Glenmark Pharma, which is selling the stake in Glenmark Life. The discount of 7.5% at 810 rupees is to Glenmark Life Sciences share price, which is 878. I was just figuring out that exact price, 878. So because it's at 878 Glenmark Life, or 875, which is why the discount is 7.5%. 810 is a 7.5% discount to Glenmark Life. So keep that in mind. Glenmark Life is in focus today. Okay, thanks for that. Now let's very quickly move on to IRB Infra. The gross toll collection up 35% YOY at 517 crores in June. Who knows? Maybe IRB reacts a little bit to this piece of news as well. Very quickly, we're just about coming to an end, but Asian Paints and two brokerage notes that I want to mark. One is Macquarie on Asian Paints. Outperform rating target 3800. Remember, yesterday the paint stocks were up and active. Asian, Berger, Indigo Paints. Macquarie is saying that the marginal price hike, possible indicator of comfort on demand trends. There's nothing else that you really need to look except for the fact that they are saying that Q1 demand trends are slightly ahead of those seen in Q4. Have the paint companies already discounted that? Maybe. Watch out for Asian Paints, Indigo, Berger, Kansai Nerolac in the session today. Watch out for Ambuja in the session today. Nomura has a double upgrade on Ambuja, upgrade from a reduce to a buy. Target price raised from 500 to 780 versus the current price of 665. Above industry volume growth as the company is striving towards that 140 NT target. They believe their EBITDA CAGRs and revenue CAGR are ahead of their estimates that they have for Ultratech. Standard disclaimer, of course, Ambuja Cement is owned by the Adani Group. The Adani Group owns NDTV, and you're watching this broadcast on NDTV Profit. So keep that in mind. There are a couple of other brokerage notes. Cities upgraded the target price on Jubilant Food. Maybe that could come in focus as well. There is some bit of weakish trends that Axis Cap and BofA have on banking stocks. BofA downgraded HDFC Bank yesterday. I think ICICI Bank is downgraded by Axis Capital today, or Axis Securities today. So keep those stocks also in mind. Lastly, before we wrap up, there's something that I want to leave you with. Point to ponder, thoughts to keep in mind. There has been a big rally in our markets, right? What is the mantra, or what should be the mantra in the current market? Exit lucky stocks and focus on research. If you've been lucky with a stock, you do not know too much about it, please exit it, lest you lose out on the gains. What you book is what you gain. The current stock allocation, correct the stock allocations as a part of risk management. If you have too much of allocation in a particular stock, maybe correct it. Find stocks with margin of safety. That is the most important thing in the current market scenario. So bear that, all of this in mind. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Trade Setup today.